Positive Gains is back today, and our special guest is Kyndra Crump. Kyndra, thank you for being on today.
Yes, thank you first off for not thinking I was a bot and just deleting my message or spam. So I appreciate you for not doing that. I appreciate it. Thank you. You know,
Is that
we got a lot of scammers and spammers and bots out there, and I'm like, y'all find you a real job, please. Okay, quit trying to mess up for people like myself who are actually trying to be somebody and make it in life.
has that been happening to you a lot? People just deleting you or leaving you on red?
I feel like it happens a lot. I just not sure how much, but I know it does happen. You know, but it's so but you gotta check. You know, you gotta definitely check to make sure people are they say they are, because you might have a real person, but then they play games. Like, have you ever decided to invite like a guest on, like a random person, and then that person never showed up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it messed
There
up
it
for
is.
me too. I'm like, hey, I'm serious. They're not, but it's okay.
Well, I
It happens.
appreciate you again for being on. And if you would introduce yourself, a little bit
Yes,
about you.
Kyndra Crump. Born and raised in Atlanta. Been here since I was 0. You know, and you know how when you get bored, you want to travel out and go somewhere. Where I'm trying to travel to Rapper the Game's house, and I just sent him 2 DMs a year apart from each other. First DM was on April 19th, 2020. Next DM was April 19th, 2021. And he better respond back or else. So, hey, I know he listens to this podcast. So, JCL Terrell Taylor, respond back to my DM because I'm tired of keep, sending you stuff like a crazy. Like, come on now. You know what time it is. You're a college student going to Clark Atlanta University. And good thing I'm graduating because I just saw something on the Shade Room where they're making it mandatory for students showing up to school with a vaccination shot. I'm like, wow, it'd be your own people, don't it? So yeah, I'm leaving school, so it don't even matter to me. Even if I wasn't graduating, hell, I'll just go on YouTube University. You can learn everything. I learned how to like actually do my hair and how to pick up men. Hasn't worked that well. Results may vary. So yeah, that's pretty much it. My degree is in mass communication, which now that I realize I don't even need a degree in that. I can just really I just need, social media can help you out. Especially how social media is now. You as long as you go viral with something, even if you're funny or not, you can blow up that way. So that's pretty much it.
So where did the comedy come in? Have you always tried to pursue that, or has it kind of been on the back burner while you were going to school? Or
so I've been funny since I was a child. And for a fact that children are gonna be funny. Like elementary school, your kids are always gonna make you laugh, but you have a real gift when you're in middle school and high school and you're still making people laugh. And so for me, I had to go through a series of unfortunate events just trying to figure out exactly what was it that I really wanted to be in life. Somewhere along the way I said, hey, I want to be a chef. And then I realized it's too much math in this. And I was failing math like every other year in school. Like I know for a fact my mother was so tired of showing up at the school with these new wigs for these PTA meetings. Is that Miss Crump or Shaka Khan? We still don't know to this day, right? Like we were like, okay, it's a short bus option, but I'm sure they had a seat reserved for me. I just never made it. Like we tried hooked on phonics, but honey, I was hooked on stupid. Okay, we tried, and then on top of that with the cooking, it's like they want you to follow certain rules or this cookbook. I'm like, no. I don't trust y'all's cookbook. The only white person's cookbook I trust is Martha Stewart. We know that she's black. Okay, come on now. Once she got out of jail, started hanging out with Snoop. We knew what time it was. All right. So cooking for me. I still like doing it, even though it takes me 10 hours to cook the food, 10 days to clean up, and 10 minutes to eat. It's a scam. I said next thing I said was I wanted to be a WWE wrestler. And before I had found love with Rapper the Game, John Cena, he stole my heart. That's why I was trying to get in the ring, be with him, and we could have, had a great storyline on air and off air. But then I realized man's like 20-some years older than me, and he was aging like bananas. And those submission moves, they hurt. I don't know if you've ever had, a WWE style submission move on you, but my back still hurts many years later. Ben Gay ain't gonna help it. Back to the story. And then on top of that, they want you to be like 120 30 pounds. Like, what about women who are built like voluptuous type women? You know, you can't do nothing about that. You know, so it's not gonna work. You know. Then I said I wanted to go be a teacher. You know, I said, oh, this should be fun. But then I realized kids be talking back and you can't put your hands on them. You know, I would have been fired after the first hour. So I said, let me go find something else to do. You know, and so I started in 2016 via Snapchat. So what I would always say, hey, welcome to the Kyndra Crump show. And so I would just talk about whatever. But at the time, my content was more so like, you know, Lil' Kim's hardcore album. And the thing about it is, like, sex is always going to be funny, but a real comedian is versatile. You can make people laugh with or without using profanity. You know, you can make people laugh without saying something vulgar. And that's the thing about that. So you don't have to learn how to when to turn it on and when to turn it off, because you never know who your audience is and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And I mean, I never try to be funny. It just came naturally. My mom always told me, think before you speak, and I never listened. And I still don't listen. So, you know, that's where I'm at with it now.
Now, was that something like growing up, like you were saying, you know, your mom getting on you and things like that? So obviously you're kind of using, I don't want to say a curse, but maybe some misfortune at times, being mischievous, you're using that towards your advantage. But with social media, how have you navigated, you know, through that with YouTube and like you said, Snapchat? How has that helped you? Because you were talking about you can go viral for anything nowadays. So how have you used it?
I've used it in the way of, one thing I realize is that men will support a woman faster than women will support women and vice versa. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. And so I use it in the way of, let me show my love to men. Let me reach out to them. Yeah, they're going to try to holler at me. Yeah, they're going to try to get me to, you know, solicit myself in unethical ways or whatever. But I look past that and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Okay, cool. I understand. Hey, go ahead and follow me on whatever. And then, you know, that's how I'm building up my following and stuff like that. And just having a conversation with them. I feel like if you have a conversation and talk to them, say, hey, you know, I'm in your city, or hey, if you're ever in my city, I don't mind meeting my followers and stuff. I'm that type of person, you know, and I have to let them know, hey, man, I'll meet you at this place, i.e. Walmart, gas station, Target, not the hotel, okay? Like, what do you think this is, okay? And I'm like, brother, you need to go get checked out by the doctor, okay? Because you out here just trying to solicit anybody. You look a little sickly, sir, okay? You know, and, you know, I got a joke for you. I always keep coming across these guys. They got nothing but designer in their closet and ain't been out to the doctor for a checkup in years. You just out here dripping diseases and designer. Like, it's not gonna work. It just doesn't work. And they trying to holler at me. Okay, you know, these be the same type of guys who don't have a car, don't have their own crib, they don't have, you know, nothing like at all. Yeah. But look, they got that fake weed though. I'm like, wow, sir, like Jordans can't be your car, okay? Like I'm a whole 175 pounds out here, okay? You're gonna break down on mile one if you try to carry me. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, okay? But no, so with all that being said, that's the good thing. Once I realized the knack of it, okay, let me show love to men and everything else, then kind of go from there. And of course, it's not gonna be a guarantee. You know, it would be so nice if everyone that I show love to would do the same thing back, but it's not gonna be a guarantee. But I would say my percentage of numbers is like 95%. You know, so it's always that 5%. Now they're like, who are you and where'd you come from? I let them know, hey, I'm just a comedian out here trying to make it in these streets. Okay, well, I'm not interested. Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate it. That's fine. You know, that's fine. But that's how you look at that. That's how I go about that.
Right. You just got to keep moving forward. And like you were saying, with people on IG, for example, you could be anybody you want to be. You know, you can download whatever filters you want and be whoever it is you think you are. But so how hard has it been, you know, with the pandemic for you? Because I feel like being a comedian is one of the toughest jobs out there. So everybody was at home, you know, over the last year, just skimming through the internet. So for you, that's great. People skimming Instagram, but how hard is it being original when, I mean, it almost feels like with some people you've heard the same joke. Excuse me.
The same. Well, okay. The thing about being original, this is what people fail to realize. Entertainment within itself, it gets recycled. No matter if you're trying to be a comedian, a rapper, a singer, just if you pay attention, they talk about the same things. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Okay. If you're deciding to just pretty much copy off stuff verbatim, that's when it becomes a problem. When I believe there was a comedian named Carlos Menencia or something like that, like 20 years ago, how he was copying that. And then I believe somebody had told me about Amy Schumer was just that's when it's bad. Okay. Like, for example, I might look at a meme. Okay. And I've seen other comedians do this. Take a meme and they'll put that in their material and just expand and go off. Even if the meme was like 4 or 5 words, they can take that and then just go off. Sometimes my ideas, like I might be in the shower and I'm thinking, should I saw a meme earlier today where they said 4 or 5 cents? I'm going to kind of remix that meme and put up my own little spin to it. Or, for example, I like talking to elders, like people in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They're freaking hilarious. You want to get some good comedy, man? Go talk to somebody who is an elder, and you can sit there and I'll be like, hey, man, it's okay if I use that. They're like, Kyndra, I'm not on social media. I don't really care. Take it. Cool, I take it and stuff like that. And then I remix it. And I put a little bit more of my sauce on it. So that's the thing, because I'm telling you, this is what people fail to realize, man. Comedy is hard. Now, I can make people laugh without ever trying to go get me a team of people. But for the people who want content every day, like you have like Country Wayne. I like Country Wayne because I don't know how he got the rhythm of being a soap opera comedian. Man. Every day he has like 2 or 3 skits out. I'm like, bro, when do you sleep? You like Steve Harvey, So I like the fact that he does that, but this is what people fail to realize. He has a whole team behind him.
Oh, yeah.
So they're able to always, and these teams consist of ghostwriters. These teams, because I know even with Country, like he probably is tired. And there might be times where he doesn't, he might run out of material. But that's the thing, when you have a large and a strong team behind you, you're always going to have something. So I don't understand when people say to me, because I used to have this thing where I would only post maybe once or twice out the week, but now I have a rhythm. I have some I post on Mondays. Mondays are typically like, it might be a little short skit where I'm just sitting here either dancing, talking, or I might just post a picture of my face and then with a random fact underneath about myself. Wednesdays are of my podcast, my own individual podcast, little skits, a snippet of that and stuff like that, which can run about 40 minutes, close to an hour or whatever, just depending. Fridays is like my little PSAs. And basically I just rant on that day about whatever, or I do a little random advertisement, if somebody wants me to try something or whatever. I'm that type of person, but it used to be once or twice a week because I literally could not figure out what to talk about and also to make it funny. But then, I started talking to God and God told me what to do. He's like, listen to this or whatever else it may be. And I'm like, okay, great. And so I pretty much had got this rhythm about it, because I'm telling you, like, because I don't understand, like, when people, this is what I don't understand about people. You miss a week of posting, you might lose 2 or 3 followers. Like, they couldn't care less about if you actually have real life situation going on, unless I guess they see proof that somebody had died and it was a massacre, or you know whatever, probably drowned and then you died for a couple of days and came back to life. They don't care about that. They just care about, oh, you gonna show us some material today? When you gonna post something out? I'm like, guys, let me go ahead and I'm human. Come on now. I'm not gonna always, be accessible or whatever.
Right.
Like, I mean, you're making it not fun for me. I like it. It's fun for me when I can do it whenever I want to. Yes, consistency is key, but just because you're consistent, and this is something people else fail to realize, just because you're consistent doesn't mean that you're going to, blow up and be big, over several months of time. Like, for example, I look at Desi. Let's compare Desi Banks and Wayne, Country Wayne.
Right.
Desi Banks will probably post. He used to post like every couple days. Now because he's on the road touring and stuff, he posts maybe every 3 days, like between 2 and 4 days, right?
Right.
But Desi has 6 million followers. Now I don't know what Desi's doing. I don't know what type of who he spoke to or whatever else it may be to have gotten a large amount of following, but he does. Same thing, like I said, with Country Wayne, he's got a little bit over 2 million followers. So again, I'm trying to understand what is it. And I like Country Wayne's skits a lot better than Desi's. You know, plus Country, his skits are clean and stuff like that. And like I said, a good comedian is versatile. You can learn when to turn on and when to turn off. So again, and it could be, and I'm not claiming Desi or ain't, because you know you gotta let people know this, because they're not, you know, the highest grade of weed in the dispensary. They'll take some and run with it. I'm not claiming that this is what Desi's doing, but it makes me wonder, like, okay, are you buying? You know, people will buy followers.
Buy followers.
They will buy certain things. So it makes me wonder, like, okay, are you buying these people, or you know, what exactly is going on or so? You know, so I don't know. Sometimes I just kind of wonder these things, but the only way we'll ever know is if, you know, he actually comes out and just lets us know and everything else. So, hey, I'm not sure. Maybe more people can relate to, you know, when the hood dude and stuff like that. Like I personally can't relate to the hood dude saga, because the hood dudes I know, they are like the complete opposite of that. And I'll actually show them like, hey, do you be doing this? Like, Kyndra, no, that's what dumb dudes do. I'm like, okay. I was like, let me ask, because I'm like, I don't recall, like, what hood dude do you know just walks around with no license? Like, I don't know no hood dude like that.
Yeah.
Hey, it is what it is.
So who do you draw your not interest, but your inspirations? Thank you. Who do you draw your inspirations from?
Okay, I know it's still early. You know, right now, I understand we out here partying in Dubai, so it's the middle of the night for us right now, y'all. So the inspiration, give you my top 5. I'm going to exclude Pryor, Chappelle, and Kevin Hart. Even though Kevin's not funny to me, Cat Williams can run circles around this man, but I feel like when you sold out and started wearing dresses and stuff, it's too late. But hey, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with Arnaz J. Carlos Miller, Wild 'N Out 85 South.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Chris Rock, Cedric, and Steve Harvey. I've never met any of them. I'm not sure where they're at. They're hiding. So, you know, hopefully one day I do get a chance to see them. You know, now, I'm not going to, one thing I realize is people, I don't get excited when it comes to certain individuals, or really people in general, because they're human just like us. And the last thing you want is to be disappointed by a favorite of yours. You know, that's the thing about that. Like, I had a comedian, female comedian I like. Her name is comedian Miss Pat. She's from Atlanta as well. Found her off of the Breakfast Club. Pretty good, you know, good stuff. She's a hilarious woman, but I was trying to see if I can get her on my podcast just to interview her and talk with her, but she just never responded back, and tried to email, never responded. I was like, bro, that's rude, because my message was like how when I reached out to you, very professional, everything, check me out, all that good stuff. But the fact that you don't respond back, and it's not like I'm sitting here asking you for money or anything else like that, like, why not respond back? Like, she responded to one of my messages where I asked her about, you know, how do I, you know, when it comes with material, transferring it to YouTube. But when I asked her about, you know, her coming on my podcast, like, don't want to respond to that. So again, but you learn, don't take it personal, man, because if you do, then you're gonna be upset with a lot of different things.
Exactly. You'll get a lot of no's, like you were saying, before you get yeses, and I think that's what makes people in it for the long haul, because you know, rejection's part of it.
Of course, you gotta be, even though nobody likes rejection, remember it like this ain't Burger King. You can't always have it your way, you know. So with that being said, like, it's rejection, it sucks, but either you deal with rejection and continue to go after your dreams, or you don't deal with it and you just continue working where you at and being unhappy and miserable. You know, you gotta have a, what do you call it? You have to have like a motivating force as to why you're doing what you're doing.
Right.
Like, let me ask you this: with your podcast, did it come out of, this was your motivating force to get you out of wherever you're at, or you just did it for fun?
No, it was a part of something I wanted to do. So I didn't look at it as far as taking me out of somewhere, but I wanted to make sure I tried something that I thought I would be good at. And I wanted to exhaust all those little opportunities because I didn't want to look back with regret saying, oh, I wish I would have done this, or look at that person. Oh, that could have been me when I never even tried. You know what I mean?
Got it. And that's good. At least it's always, you don't ever want to have it. I like oh wells better than what ifs. So
right.
That normally keeps me, that's how I go about things. Whether I'm trying to shoot my shot at somebody, I'm like, oh well, at least I tried, something
Exactly.
like that. But that's pretty much how it goes. That's pretty much how it goes. So yeah, that's good. And maybe you're an inspiration to somebody else who probably doesn't start their podcast. Like, hey, if he can do it, I can too.
Right. And so again, like we were talking about with social media is big, presence, blah, 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 and all that. But getting on stage and presenting to a crowd, an audience, and like you were saying, you got to know how to pick your jokes. Example, I was at a comedy show a couple weeks ago, and they had the 4 comics come on before they had the main guy, and but one guy had to move his jokes around because that particular audience just wasn't feeling those type of jokes. So you could see in his head, he kind of had to move it around and say, okay, now I'm going to go this direction. So getting on stage, I mean, again, like I said, I think it's hard for you guys, but how does that go? I mean, walk me through that when you're getting on stage and you've got to move things around.
So I'm gonna keep it one hand down with you. I've never actually done the type of stand-up where I have been on stage. My stand-up more so was, all right, I have performed at little house parties. I have said some things that, like, when people look around like, oh, but then I knew how to clean it up really well.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They were still laughing. So I do know I know what that feels like. I'm like, Kyndra, think of something real quick. And so I'm like, okay, just say something crazy or whatever. When I'm doing podcasts and I am, let's say it's multiple people and a person isn't laughing, I still keep talking, because dead silence, man. That's kind of like, oh gosh, okay, I need a towel because I'm kind of like sweating right now and stuff like that. But yeah, no, nothing where it's ever been a actual on stage, but that is going to be a given. You're going to get that dead silence. You're going to get, like, I've tried, and that's the thing about failure, when you don't have people actually laughing or just kind of, clearing their throat, or so, okay, I can't use that. You try about 2 or 3 different times, and when you realize, okay, this joke doesn't hit, let me erase it out of my book, let me try something else. So no, it is, you got to always be on the fly when you're thinking about stuff like that, so yeah, that's my whole goal about that.
And how do you stay grounded and humble? Because like you said, you're starting out and you're starting to gain traction. How hard is it to just stay centered around what you believe in? Because some people get a lot of yes men around them and they lie to them and tell them all this and this and that, but it ain't doing them no good. So for you, how has that been?
So as far as with the yes men, for me, actually I don't have that many people in my circle in that way of letting me know to be the yes man. I have a lot of people who are like, will tell me the honest truth. Now, here's the thing. My family, immediate family, doesn't really find me funny. And it's okay. Are you doing it for your family? Do it for their approval, or are you doing it because this is something that you want to do? That's how I look at that. My mother doesn't even want me doing these podcasts. She doesn't agree with it at all and everything else. Now I find my mom funny. I'm like, hey mom, jump on my podcast with me. No. My mom's hilarious, but she doesn't want me to, she has no type of, I have no support with her. And I had to learn to be okay with that. My youngest brother, He finds me funny, but he keeps on, going off on how this world is ending. You out here trying to make it in life, stock up on food, the dollar's losing its value, all this, which, yes, this may be true. But in the meantime, in between time, what if the world doesn't end until like 150 or 3,000 years later, right? So now
Right.
you gotta listen to somebody who just is like, you just made a mistake with that. Like, you gotta, whenever a person tells you something, I take it with a grain of salt. That's how pretty much what it is. But as far as with that, I yeah, I don't have any yes men. I've had people critique me and give me helpful, advice, and I've taken that after reviewing the advice. I'm like, you know what they're saying is true. So that's what I do. I like people like that. But yeah, I don't have. I guess I'm not famous enough for that. In all honesty, I guess I gotta be a little bit bigger first, and then that's gonna come.
And as a fellow podcaster, what's your favorite part about, you created your own podcast? So what's your favorite part about that?
Saying whatever comes to my mind. Typically saying whatever comes to my mind. Reason I say typically is because there's still some things I feel like you just can't go on a platform and say, even though you can't get canceled for it, somebody's gonna try to bring it up. Say, oh, so what you say about this certain group? Guys, that was like 10 years ago. Okay. You
Yeah.
out here worried about what I said. Why don't you worry about your marriage? Okay, you don't see her leaving? She left, she's gone. Okay, worry about your kids. Wonder why they are 20 years old in the 8th grade, people. Like, come on. Worry about the wrong things. Like, that's why people like that are just miserable. Like, I don't really be caring about a lot of different things. It doesn't bother me. Whatever you want to do with your life is what you want to do with your life. Because at the end of the day, you're going to answer to God about that. That's how I look at that. So I don't really care. I'm just going to still say, hey, how you doing? Chuck Deuce at you and keep moving.
Right. And so almost halfway in, not halfway, a little over a quarter of the way into 2021. With things opening back up around the country, do you have any plans to obviously further your comedy? Is there anywhere that you're in particular looking at going? Or are you going to continue to stay on YouTube as well?
Yeah, most definitely going to keep on staying on YouTube. I'm going to just continue to live my best life. I'm glad this pandemic happened because I was able to, not only once I made it back to work, I work 3 days out the week. So those other 4 days gives me time to really just rest and work on my craft and all that good stuff. It allows me to be all that I could be. So yeah, with all that being said, not gonna stop with YouTube. I'm just gonna keep on going. I think that's the thing, man. You can always utilize whatever seems like something that's negative. Utilize it for positivity. That's how I look at that.
Right. And staying ahead of the curve, I imagine too, everything platform wise, they just keep coming out with new things, like TikTok obviously has been beneficial for a lot of people. So it is a little tough to stay ahead of the competition.
I'm not gonna get on no TikTok. I'm like, y'all, every year or 6 months, y'all come out with some new thing and ask me, no, I don't have this. I just have an Instagram and Twitter sometimes. I say sometimes because I'm not the best tweeter. You know how they say you're supposed to, I guess, tweet every day or whatever. I'm like, look, even if I think of something great to say, it might get one repost and one heart. I have not said or done nothing, and I'm not trying to do that. It's like a competition. I'm like, let me just stick with Instagram, keep it moving.
That's the thing with people, you with just that Instagram, you're gonna, I don't want to say force people, but if they want your content aside from YouTube, they're gonna have to go to Instagram instead of branching out into all these different things, and then it's easier to manage.
That's true. That's true, but I'm simple. Actually, I might even go back to MySpace. Let me figure out what passcode and stuff like that is, and then go from there. I
Shout
mean,
out to Tom from
I just
MySpace.
literally have done stuff because I was following the crowd, and I realized like one day Instagram is gonna just be non-existent. You
Right.
know, so then that's why I just keep it with YouTube. I think YouTube is one of those things where it will stay, you know, with us forever. I believe that.
It will. I know people are moving into, OnlyFans. The first thought of OnlyFans, is all adult, sexual and stuff. But I know some people are putting their stuff on there as well, but they can't get over that stigma of when you say OnlyFans, people start laughing like, you're on OnlyFans?
But here's the thing, OnlyFans doesn't have to be what you all label is. My OnlyFans, if I ever do it, it's gonna be geared towards me taking little feet pictures or videos, guys like feet, and then I'm gonna do my comedy. And it'll be like $5 a month.
Yeah.
It's not bad. That's a good deal. I mean, that's it. But I'm not. There's no need for me to sit here and put no tape out or whatever else it may be, because this is what people don't fail to realize. All right, for all the people out there who are thinking about getting an OnlyFans or whatever it might be, you fail to realize that somebody can take your information, your videos, pictures, and they'll put it out there on the web for all people, everybody else who has not paid and they aren't going to pay. They're going to look at you for free. So and again, people might say, well, like the ratio of that happening, but still, like, it's gonna get to the point where like, okay, well, I just got 1 or 2 followers, but everybody else keeps streaming me for free.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's what people don't understand, man. People, I think what they thought was gonna happen was, if I end up making this OnlyFans, I can literally make so much money, and nobody's gonna try to pimp me, or it's not go whatever. But I'm like, it's the same like going into the strip club. The fact that people can bring their cell phones and record these strippers, you don't even have to go there no more, man.
Right.
So I don't know. People like they, I guess they thought they were doing something, but they weren't.
They got played. They got played.
That's what it is. That's really what it is.
Well, Kyndra, I appreciate you coming on. I hope the rest of 2021 is your year. Again, I appreciate you reaching out. You've been hilarious, and I can't wait to see what happens, the rest of your career. And you're welcome back on anytime.
Of course. Like, definitely appreciate you for even, again, putting me down on your calendar and everything else, for not being one of those people. Oh my goodness, I'm just waking up. Oh man, I had to go to the doctor today. Can we reschedule? Oh man, I double booked you. Oh man, whatever other excuse that somebody has. Whatever other excuse.
Yeah, quit lying,
I don't know. I'm like, it's called a calendar for a reason, people.
Right.
So like I said, people just, it's always amazing. Like, I might have 5 podcasts to do in one day, and out of those 5, probably 4 people cancel on me. So I mean, it happens. It happens.
Well, that's terrible.
It's part of the game.
It's part of the game. It's gonna happen, but you keep pushing on and moving forward.
Most definitely. I appreciate you.
All right. You take care.
All right. Take care.